Well, hello again. Welcome to our reading of Ephesians, and I got up to chapter 6. So we have a section here on children and parents, and it begins ta tekna, hupakuete tois gonusin, humon, and then in brackets in kuro. Tutuga est in dikaion. So it's a kind of vocative here. It's not o tekna, but ta tekna. But it is a kind of vocative. So children, obey your parents. So hupakuo plus the dative. This is the dative plural from gonius, third declension noun in us. So children, obey your parents, goniusin, in the Lord, in brackets, for this is dikaion, a just thing. Now we then have a quotation which is from Exodus 20:12 and Deuteronomy 5:16. Timar ton patera su kai. So timar is imperative from timao, honor your father, kai, and tan metera, and your mother. So honor your father and your mother. Hatis estin entale prote in evangelia. Hina you soi genetai kai esse macrochronios epites geis. Now we get this strong form of tis here, the very thing which. So this thing is the first commandment, n, probably that instrumental use of n, with a promise. So honor your father and your mother continues the quotation in order that it might be you soi well for you, kai esse, second person singular from the future of the verb to be, and you will be macrochronios, long-lived, you'll have a long time, epites geis, upon the earth. Kai hoi pateres me parogizete ta tekna humon, ala ektrefeti auta en paidea kai nuthesia kuriu. And children, fathers I should say, and again it's got a vocative, O father, fathers, let them not provoke to anger, it's parogizdo, to make angry, your children, but ektrefete, another imperative here, rear them, look after them, feed them. Ektrefo is that sense of to rear. It covers all the usual things of looking after children. Rear them with paideia. Paideia is education, and nuthesia, a word meaning instruction. We're probably getting funny use of the genitive here, instruction in the Lord, I think here, rather than instruction of the Lord. The nuthesia, it's that nous root of the mind, and thes from tithemi, placing things in the mind, and hence to instruct, and this is the abstract noun instruction. Now another section on slaves, which again is, you have to read in the context of the time, I suppose. So it's hoi douloi, hup akuete tois katasaka kuriois metaphobu kai tromu en haplote tites cardias humon hos to Christo, me kat ophthal modulian hos anthropareskoi al hos douloi Christu poiuntes ta thelema to theo psukes. I'll just pause it there. So slaves, obey your masters according to the flesh, the idea being that their master is God, but in this world their masters were human, so obey the masters according to the flesh with fear and tromu, trembling. There's a verb tremo, to shake or tremble. This is the noun from this, tromos. En haploteti, well, it's an interesting word. It means singleness. It's from that haplotes. This is a dative from haplotes, third declension noun, with singleness, or some translate it as sincerity. Some translate it as single-hearted devotion. It's probably close to our word single-mindedness, of your heart, as to the Christ. So, in other words, as though you were serving Christ. Me kat ophthalmodulian. This is an interesting word here. It's found only here and in Colossians 3:22 in all of Greek. You can see the roots of it, ophthalmos, the eye, and dulia, the service. So it's literally eye service. It's a bit like our expression lip service. So not by lip service as pleasing to men, and this is anthropos and areskos combined here, but as servants of Christ, doing the will of God ek psyches from your soul. Met eunoias douleontes hosta kurio kai uk anthropois. Edotes hoti hekastas iantipoiese agathon tuta commissatai para kuriou eti doulos eti eleutheros. Serving, being a slave with goodwill, so serving with goodwill as to the Lord and not to men. It's almost as though you were serving the Lord and not men, knowing that each one, if poiese subjunctive, he might do some good thing, this commissatai future from commisdo, a word which was quite common in classical Greek. It meant to carry. It has the sense of to receive back at this stage, I think. So it's literally, so it's if the slave might do some good thing, he will receive this back from the Lord. That is, almost he'll be compensated from the Lord. Whether a doulos, whether a slave, or whether a free person. So this is a more general statement here. So knowing that each person, if he does some good deed, he will be, he will receive this back from the Lord, whether he's a slave or whether he's a free man. Kai hoi kurioi ta auta poiete pros autus an ientes ten apelen dotes hoti kai auton kai humon hokurios estin en uranois kai proso polempsia ukestin par auto. And the masters do the same things to them, that is, presumably to the slaves. Anientes is from anhiemi, it's a participle, present participle here. It's something like relinquishing, giving up on. Now the apele is a threat, so it means something like relaxing your threats or giving up on making threats. Knowing that also knowing that also he is the Lord of them and of you in the heavens, and there is not with him pros polempsia. This is an interesting, very much a New Testament word, and various forms of this, various verbs and nouns and adjectives formed from this prosopolempsia. It's prosopon, which is face, and the lamps from lambano. It's a bit like our taking things at face value. It's often translated as respecter of persons. This is the abstract noun here. So there is no respect of persons with him, literally. That is, it doesn't matter whether you're a slave or whether you're a master. So just to do that bit quickly again, so masters do the same things to them, slackening off the threat, so putting away the threat really, knowing that also the Lord, that he is the Lord of them and of you in the heavens, and there is no respecter of persons with him. So it's the Lord in the heavens is, well, understand their Lord and yours. Slightly awkward Greek there. To loipu en dunamuste en kurio kai enterkrate tes iskuos autou. Now, to loipo, you've got to supply something like chronu here, I think, in the remaining time. So in the future, in the remaining time, put on. So this is from sorry, no, not put on. I'm confusing this again with en dunamai and en duo. We get two verbs here. Don't confuse them, that I just did. This is from en dunamo, to be empowered. And this is a passive here. So be empowered in the Lord and in the might of his strength. Now then we get enducas there, and the writer probably intends a pun here with the similar sounds, totally different meanings. This is from enduo. So put on the panoplia. This is from pan plus hoplia root. A hoplon is a hopla in the plural is weapons. In classical Greek, this is the full armour. It's generally translated. So put on the full armour of God, prostop plus the infinitive, so that you are able, stenai, to stand, prostas methodeas. Now, I've had that word before. It's only here, and it's in we've seen it before in chapter 4, verse 14. It's we get our word method from it, but it is quite a rare word, and it has the sense of trickery or wiles. And then later in Greek it comes to mean method in the modern sense. Here it's sort of like techniques, trickery, wiles of the devil. Hoti ukestin he min he pele pros haima kai, and the next page is Saka. Because, now the pele is literally wrestling is the word here. More generally a fight. The struggle would be good here, I think. For the struggle for us is not against blood. Now, using this pros in the sense of against, I think here. You could translate it in relation to as well, but I think probably against is more the sense here in this context. So, for the struggle for us is not against blood and saka, flesh, but against alaprostas arkas, prostas exousias, prostus cosmokratoras, tu skotos tutu, prosta pneumatica tes ponerias entois ep uranios. So it's not against blood and flesh, but against the arkas. This is the rules, the principalities or something, and the authorities, and against the cosmokratoros, an interesting word here. Again, I think this is quite a rare word. Orthodox Christians will recognize pantokrator, one of the words used to describe Christ. This is a similar kind of construction. It's cosmos, with the world, and krator, with an omega, is a ruler, from kratio, to rule. So this is the rulers of the cosmos. So it's against the rulers, we might say, of this darkness. This is a genitive from it's tos skotos. It's a Newton, third declension Newton now. Against the spiritual things of wickedness in the heavenly places. Diatuto analabete ten panoplian tu theou hina dune theate antistenai ente hemera te ponera kai hapanta cat ergasamenoi stenai. On account of this, take up this is from Anna Lambano, the panoplia, the same word we had before, the full armoury of God, in order that you might be able. Now it is a passive here, it's almost you might be made able, so you might be able, anti-stenai is to stand against, hence to resist. To resist in the evil day, and hapanta katergasamenoi, slightly difficult phrase, a bit obscure, perhaps meaning having accomplished everything. It's from katergasdamai, it's a middle, having accomplished everything, and again you might be able, you might have the power. Stanai, infinitive from histemi, to stand. So just to do that last bit. So in order that you might be empowered to resist in the day, the evil day, and perhaps having done all things, having achieved all things, stanai, to stand. And that is the first part of chapter 6.